What's up, fellas? How are ya?
Doing great. How are
Doing
you?
well.
Ah, man, I'm awesome, and I say it every time. I'm even better knowing that I'm getting ready to talk comics. There's something really exciting here that we're fixing to talk about. But I'm excited for you guys to be able to take the time to do this because when I see a cool book come in, I'm like, these guys are getting ready to be really important. I gotta make sure I use their time wisely. And I know, I mean, as we record this right now, happy birthday, Ben.
Yeah,
You
thank you.
know, it's yeah, so you've got shit to do, man. You've got shit to do. But nevertheless, I'm grateful for both of your guys' times. So the before we get too far into Space Oddities, now Ben, you are the writer or
Like co-writer. So we kind of,
co-writer?
this is an idea we came up with together, like going a little over 15 years ago now, and we
Okay.
sat on it for a while.
Damn.
It was like one of those things, like, yeah, we should do this, and so I kind of, we've kind of co-write and co-create it together as a collaborative process, and then John does all the hard work.
Damn. Well, shit. You guys. So, 15 years. You guys have been working on this. You guys. So that's a hell of a relationship to have. I've attempted to write a comic with somebody, and our relationship ended in about 9 months. Like it's not an easy thing to do. So kudos to that first of all. But yeah, I mean, for you guys to come together and putting something like this together, the Space Oddities, this is something special here, my listeners might say, oh, you say that all the time. Well, that's because I only bring on special fucking books. I'm not going to bring on some mediocre shit. No, this is not mediocre shit by any means. So you guys have this on Kickstarter right now, and we're going to get into Space Oddities, no doubt. But I did not know that you guys have known each other this long. I didn't know this was a work in progress for this long. So that opens this up even more for me. So now I have to know I mean, usually I'll do an origin story individually, but I got to know the origin story of you two. I mean, because I would like to. I mean, 15 years, your origin story in comics and knowing each other can't be that far apart, really. So I mean,
You know,
John, you want to
actually,
take it away?
I think what made the last 15 years so possible is that we probably knew each other for a decade before that. We've been buddies since we were little kids.
Jeez,
So
man.
we were always just, can we cuss on this show?
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
wasn't sure. We were running around, fucking around in the neighborhood with toy guns and shit. It's ever since we were little tykes in elementary school. So, it made sense that later on in life that we'd start creating stuff for fun. But back then we were just out of high school and we were just wandering the earth. So we're like, hey, this would make a good idea for a cartoon proposal because I was going to school for animation. Or I was
Okay.
about to. And we were all into Adult Swim at the time. This was back when like C Lab and Aqua Teen Hunger
Mhm.
Force, like
Ah,
the real genesis of
Golden
the original
age.
content. Yeah.
exactly, the golden age. That's what I was gonna say. Exactly. Yes. So animated. I mean that would explain a lot when I look at this art here. I mean, as an animator, you, I mean, you got to take it to another level. But as an artist, or an illustrator in a comic book, you have to be able to show the ability of motion in a single panel. Like that's the thing I admire most about comics over all forms of entertainment. Everything is because you can get the most out of the least in a comic
Hmm.
book. And I say that term the least very, very loosely because it takes a lot of fucking work. But as far as 20 pages and 7 panels on a page, that's not much considering how many frames it is in a film and all of that other shit. All the editing and splicing. There's so much more mass to it. So to be
Yeah.
able to get so much of a story out of just so little volume, it says a lot. And for both the writer as well, obviously, because I mean, you get these little speech balloons, and you get like a few words essentially, unless you're Grant Morrison and you're like, fuck it, I'll just do the whole page.
Who needs to
Yeah, and
text?
yeah, exactly. And Liam Sharp could just draw around the talk bubbles and still shine. I mean, it is. But I don't know. With this here, the Space Oddities. I immediately got like it felt like I was watching this book, not reading it, if that makes sense. Like it's I was talking with Ben beforehand. I was like, I left the house after I just got done reading this, and I came home real quick, and the family was watching Futurama. And I was like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, I thought I was just, I mean, so it was, and I'm not saying this is Futurama, but it's, it's the setting and everything, it just, I felt like I was already watching it, but I was just reading something similar. So I just want to say kudos to both of you for making me feel that reading a comic, because it's something that a lot of people don't always excel in, and that doesn't mean they're making a bad comic. This is just another level of story, just being able to do it is all. And yeah, no, I mean, this is awesome. So I went off on that huge tangent because you said animation, and I got all excited because yeah.
Personally, I appreciate that, because we are the product of our influences, and I would be lying if I tried to say that Futurama didn't have like some seed in my brain somewhere, because I love the shit out of that show. So it's
right.
To have any sort of comparison without somebody saying like, hey, you're kind of ripping something off here, then I'm perfectly fine with it. I love that show to death.
I mean, how could you not? I mean, like I said, me and Ben were just geeking out in the green room beforehand too. So I mean, you had this knack for art, obviously. I mean, you're getting ready to go to school and become an animator. Now, Ben, where does your talents for writing start to blossom? I mean, is it something that you've always kind of wanted to do? I mean, were you really good in creative storytelling class? I don't know what kind of classes are.
I wasn't good at any class.
Okay. All right.
I didn't really apply myself at school.
Gotcha.
But no, I mean, John and I, us going back, like I said, we've been friends for over 2 decades now. And so, but we would always come up with like ideas and like my favorite part of the creative process is kind of that, that brainstorming and generating and kind of coming up with, fun, ridiculous, cool ideas, and then it's really as of late that I've actually tried to apply myself to finishing that off into like something that is actually could be defined as a narrative.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I've always, thought like that'd be a neat thing to do. That's something I want to do. But, we did one like short book before this where we kind of did a similar thing called Travels in Time. That was just, it was kind of like the first foray into things. And that was about that was like a decade ago now, huh?
Yeah. It was 2012.
And
wow,
then I moved out of state for a while. And then when I came back, we decided to kind of dust this old gem off and get serious about it. And so it's been kind of a recent development to actually try and finish anything. But I've been starting stuff my whole life.
Yeah, like we probably, I don't know how many times we sat down, like even after Ben moved out of town, like he'd come back into town for someone to be like, hey, let's have a couple drinks and talk Space Oddities, and we'd come up with this entire new line, new direction for it to go. The character of Jet, the female character, changed multiple times over the years, and then we'd just leave it. But it wasn't until a couple of years ago where we're like, hey, like now's the right time. We've got these new ideas. Let's sit down. Let's hammer this out. And it became a serious thing.
Yeah. How did you know? I mean, after switching it up and changing it so many times, how did you guys decide? Like realize, okay, this is the one. Like this is the one we need to run with.
Maybe we were old and we're like, uh-oh, we're running out of time.
That's a fair fucking answer. I mean, because who's to say the other stuff was even bad? I mean, who's to say
yeah,
that? I mean,
and I think that's really what it is like, I think we were in love with this property the entire time we were doing it. Like, I mean, we were totally into it. I think it was just we finally got to an age where we're like, shit or get off the pot. Like,
yeah.
All right, we've been talking about this for a long time, and we wanted to, since I was back, we wanted to start working on another book because the other one, it was just kind of hard being remote and we each had our own things going on. But once we came back and we started a podcast, we're seeing each other a lot more. We're like, all right, let's finally do it. And so we kind of, battened down and hammered out a narrative for the first arc, and like who sat down and brainstormed, like, so who are these characters? Let's coalesce the 15 years worth of brainstorming and thinking and musing that we've done on these people and really make them actual characters.
Yeah, let's actually write this instead of just big picture it.
Well, I mean, as simple as that sounds, that's not easy to just do. Let's just do. Yeah, I mean, I know, fuck, everybody I know has ideas. Everybody I know. I mean, I don't know anybody without ideas. But I mean, as far as how many of them are doing it, not aside from my comic book friends that I've met throughout the last few years. I mean, not many. Yeah, so just to sit down and like we've been talking about and even people that have been talking about the same thing for a long time, no matter what it is. It's just, I don't know how many times I'm like, just fucking do it. That's all you got to do. And if it doesn't work, then you fucking did it. And then, you're not going to talk about the thing anymore. So I really do admire when somebody just fucking does it. And it's because it's not easy to do. It's a lot of times it takes a lot of fucking sacrifice, schedule wise, being discipline. That's the big one. All of the discipline it takes. I mean, deadlines, man. Deadlines in comics.
It's true, especially if it's your own deadlines that you're giving yourself, but there isn't an actual editor or like there's no monetary attachment to it, there's no actual real consequences besides it's gonna suck if you don't get it out. I mean, unless you like fund a Kickstarter, then that's a great deadline.
Oh yes,
people are depending on it. But but I mean, if before we started doing anything like that, like that's why it took me so long to draw the first issue, because it's like we've got day jobs, we've got families, and it's like if nobody actually has a deadline for me, it's gonna take a while. And if Ben tries to give me a deadline, I'm going to laugh in his face.
Well, I mean, and that's the nice thing about this being the second issue too, is with the first issue, it's like, all right, this thing is coming, but no one's really excited about it because no one's read it, but then after you've gotten the first one out there are people that are interested in seeing the second one now. And so it kind of lights a fire under your ass.
Yes. The motivation of, people wanting to see this, that means a lot. And I mean, as somebody that's, I didn't realize that this year was my first year ever backing Kickstarter. I feel like I've been backing Kickstarters forever because there's just a nonstop flow of stuff coming in. I didn't realize that March of this year was my first time backing a Kickstarter, and I just backed my 66th Kickstarter since March. Yeah, I know, it's crazy, but I mean, it's fuck. Where was I going with this? I don't even remember where I was going with this. No, but as a fan, like a fan of Kickstarters, it's nice to see the people making the Kickstarters motivated by our excitement and our hard-earned money, man, because you can go to a shelf and spend $4 on a Marvel book, or you can back a Kickstarter from somebody you don't know anything about, and then maybe it costs you $15. But in the end, I get so much more when I get that Kickstarter book in the mail. And like, these motherfuckers completed this, they got my money, and I'm happy. Like, and now they're talking about the next one. I mean, that's exciting as a fan, so to see you guys excited to want to continue to push it out and be motivated by our excitement, that's you're on the right track. You really are. And as young creators, in this industry, I know you've been working on this book for 15 years, but I mean, this is still your first child, right? And have you guys done anything that we haven't mentioned yet?
No, just short stuff. Like Ben said, this Travels in Time book, it was part of an anthology of a bunch of local creators in Sacramento, and we had a book that we put together. And that's what a lot of my work in the past had been. I'd done a couple issues of somebody else's comic book, and so I'd gotten a taste of doing a full book. But man, it's time consuming, but it feels so good to like hold a printed book in your hand. It's like a full-size comic book.
It's all yours.
yeah, with the first issue, like this is our baby. We did it all except for the coloring. Who our colorist Dan Olvera is brilliant. But like,
I'll give you that.
It's our baby. You know, there was nobody else telling me what to do, and nobody else depending on me to execute their vision. You know, like Ben and I think we work really well together. I think I'm more the straightforward adventure narrative storyteller, and Ben's got just the best like wacky sensibilities. So, you know, when we get together, we you know, I've described this in the past as sort of like the why not method. You know, it's like, okay, so what do they do when they go here? And Ben's like, they put donuts on their fingers and roll down a grass hill and run into something. And we're like, okay, yeah, why not? You know, that's never happened, but you know, it could, because why not? You know, it's the theater of the absurd.
Well, and that's the type of stuff as a reader I'm into. Like I mean, the more eyebrow raising, where the fuck did that come from type of reaction you get out of me, I mean, the more likely it is I'm going to be picking up the next issue. You know, that's just how it is with me. I enjoy that, but at the same time, I also like the fact that, you know, you can have all that wackiness and it goes somewhere and still tell a straightforward story as well. So like the balance of two writers, I really dig. Like one of my favorite. Well, yeah, I think it's safe to say one of my favorite writing combos out there is the dudes from Metal Shark Bro, Bob France and Kevin Cuff. The way those two guys work together, like there's clearly I mean, they both have a little bit of each. Like they both have the capability of, you know, being the straight man and being the wacky, what the fuck did that just come from type of, you know, whatever. But I mean, when two writers play together like that, it makes for, well, a Ringo winning book. They won a fucking Ringo for best humor this year, humor comic this year. So that's pretty amazing. But I mean, like, my point is I'm liking the whole writer combo relationship, and being that you're also not just a co-writer but the illustrator as well. That's pretty amazing, John. That's not easy to do. I've always admired people that could do both, but that's fucking odd. Not to take anything away from you by any means, Ben, because I mean, just writing a fucking comic, like I said, you should definitely relationships ended, dude. Relationships ended. Like, and I don't mean like, oh well, no, that burnt, done. I mean, it's yeah.
It
so
is.
I admire it.
It is a bit to navigate. I mean, like with the second book, with Space Oddities #2, we went in and like we had our basic plot points. Like, here's the things that are going to happen. You know, here's the outline of the story, and then we each went off individually and wrote our own scripts.
Okay.
And then got together and kind of melded them together. And there was definitely, I mean, I don't know if tension's the right word, but there was definitely some emotion on both of our sides where one of us was like, I really like this thing. And the other you have your like little darlings in there that you like. And then you kind of have to like, okay, which one is better? And the nice thing is we get two scripts and we get to like pick all the best shit out of both of them and end up with something that we're both really happy with. And like there was, I can't remember what it was, but there was something that I was really fighting John on for a bit, and he kept telling me, "Nope, this is the right thing to do." And we ended up going his way, and he was right. It was the right thing to do.
Oh, good. Wasn't sure where that was going.
It'll be mine next time.
Well, I mean, and
I dig it.
It's very clear going into this thing. Like there are times where, I mean, to be honest, I was a little scared because with it being your baby, you're very precious about it. So you know, especially after you've written it and you're like, okay, I feel like I know these characters in a certain way. So if I write this is what they would do. And then somebody comes in, they're like, well, I also know them, and I feel like this is what they should do as well. So I think a lot of times it was easy to, you know, like there were parts where I come in and you know, like even with our Kickstarter video, same sort of thing happened where like Ben, I love my idea, but Ben comes in with something that's just like, well, of course that's the clear way to go. You know, I don't think we ran into too many roadblocks, but yeah, like there's a little debating, but it's healthy, and you make sure that you get the right thing for the right reason when you do it that way. You know, like especially if somebody's going to fight for something, then you're like, okay, then I should pay attention to this a bit more, because, you know, this person obviously feels passionate about it for a reason. if somebody's just like, whatever, fuck it, use yours, then okay, great.
Yeah, you got to be respectful, try not to be dismissive, and be willing to give some shit up. Like, it's not always going to break your way. Also, another big tip for co-writing with people: spend about 15 years talking about the characters. You'll pretty much be on the same page at that point.
I would imagine so. I mean, that's a hell of a start. It's a hell of a start. Well, I mean, on that note, though, I mean, it's gotta be a lot more comfortable when you do have those like potentially tense conversations, and someone's like, I don't know, because it's at the same time like you've known this guy forever. What's he gonna do? Stop being your fucking friend? Like it's. I don't know.
Some people might, but thankfully we've got some strong ground here.
Yeah. I mean, so that helps. I mean, there's not. I can't see any resentment, between a relationship like your guys's. Like, fuck, I wish I would have done it this way or brought it up this way, but I was afraid, maybe we wouldn't have kept working if I would have. No, I feel like if you guys had an idea, you're gonna fucking bring it up, and I think that's I mean, having a 15-year relationship going into it, I think that's a very serious a serious head start for sure. But I mean, I admire someone, jumping into this kind of later. I really do. I mean, I'm somebody that found my way later in life as well, and I'm not saying you guys are just finding your way, but finding the way into comics later. That's fucking cool. I just find it. I don't know, man. There's something special to that, because there's the people, they're just the naturals. They knew right off the bat as a kid, they're making comics in the playground at 7 years old with crayons and shit. And
to be honest, like that was always my dream ever since I was a little kid. But I had kind of a self-motivation problem, and I went to school for animation. I would say I went to school and got my degree and came back home with a whiskey habit. That took some out of me for a while. So I wasted a good bit of time before I rediscovered my passion. And it's there are some people who can just take a year or two and just destroy it and improve and go talk to all the editors in the world. Then they break in. They're at DC and Marvel. But for me, like at a certain point, it was like, okay, that's not the thing that's happening. And it's tough to make a living in indie comics. So I've got the day job, and it's like, let's create something ourselves. Like, let's turn this into something that we control, that we can, that we enjoy doing, and that we can reap the benefits from as well, one day. But
I mean, the day's not far away, gentlemen. I mean, look at this Kickstarter right here. It's, I mean, there's money to be made there. I'm excited for it. I am. I mean, Ben, I'm gonna ask you like a super silly, simple question now. On that same note, like, did you want to be a comic book writer when you grew up? Like, I mean, what was your thing?
I mean, I always enjoyed comics. Like, I mean, I'm not to the degree that John did.
Gotcha.
He was definitely the resident comic geek.
Gotcha. Well, right on. I mean, see, that's also really cool to me, like on a different level. I mean, that you could, not be as into it, but at the same time, I mean, here you are. I mean, you did this. Like you're clearly fucking into it, and you didn't have to have it in your blood your entire life, or see it.
And I've always, like I said, I've always loved comics, and I've always enjoyed reading them. But I like creating things and and making stuff, and I got off that for a while just because life happens, and you're like when I was a kid we used to make like videos and shit all the time, and just come up with stories and but mostly just for fun,
right?
And I got into I start to have kids, get old, and it just kind of eats up all of your free time. And if you don't make time for it, which is hard sometimes, thankfully I've got a very understanding wife that's willing to let me sit in here and talk on somebody else's podcast about the comic book I make on my birthday.
That's another cheat code, man. Having that
to go to dinner. So I've got a wonderful wife and good kids and whatnot. So that I can that I can tactfully neglect, and I'm confident they'll still come out.
Yeah, no, I mean, having that in your life is it's really, it is an important cheat code. It is. It helps. I mean, just being a single guy and then having to, I mean, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. I mean, but having kids and having that spouse at the same time that's willing to support on top of it all, not going, why the fuck aren't you cooking dinner for your kids? And you're talking into your little, your tin can there on the internet. And, I mean, it's no, having all of that, it does help tremendously. So, I mean, you guys are bringing up really awesome points. I mean, these are very inspirational things that I know a lot of creators out there looking for answers to. I mean, it's, how the fuck do I do this? I feel stuck in this situation. I'm this age, blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's everybody, you guys have all of the reasons not to do it, but you did it. And you did it twice, because this is issue 2 here. This isn't your first time, so that's another thing that I find badass. And this just fulfilled too, like not earlier this year. Yeah. So it didn't take you long to put this out. I'm
glad that's what you think, because man, it feels like it's taken me entirely too long to get this going. I feel like an asshole.
I wasn't there for the first campaign, but I mean, the fact that you got the first one fulfilled towards the beginning of the year, and you've got the second campaign going within the same year. I mean, that's not hard, or that's not easy to do at all. Kickstarters alone aren't easy to do. One a year. I mean, that'll drive a man insane.
Yeah,
it will.
They are a lot. And like our goal was, I mean, ideally it'd be nice to get it out sooner, but our like, we don't want to go past this goal was to, we launched the last Kickstarter, I think on November 1st of last year. And so we're like, all right, we want to launch the second one no later than, a year after that. We want to make sure that it's at least a yearly thing, so things keep rolling.
Gotcha.
Because our goal was April then, and it's April now again. And we hit the goal last time, without issue. And I think we're gonna do that if hopefully a little early if we can. But we'll make sure we set. We made sure we set a a fulfillment goal that was doable, because there's nothing worse than that date coming and going, and 2 months later you're still waiting for that thing you backed on Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna name names by any means, but there's still Kickstarters from my first couple that I backed that I'm still waiting for. Now, granted, like I said, I thought I'd been backing Kickstarters for years. Turns out that's only still a few months ago. But 60 some Kickstarters later, it's like, fuck, when's this thing gonna show up? But the key to that is just keep backing more Kickstarters, and then you got all types of shit coming in the meantime.
Yeah. But, you won't remember what came when.
Exactly. I as a matter of fact, there was some stuff I was going through looking at earlier today. I was like, oh shit, I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
so that'll be a fun surprise.
Yeah, you get a surprise in the mail and be like, oh, I totally forgot that I gave somebody money for this.
Right. But this isn't going to be one of those, because you guys deliver in a very timely manner, it seems. How far along is issue 2 at this point, production wise?
Well, not as far along as I'd like it to be, but no, it's
is it ever?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's hard to put an exact thing out, because I'm so scatterbrained. I jump around a lot. So
okay,
some pages are still in layouts, some are in pencils, some are already inked, some are colored. It's I mean, we got some sample pages colored for the campaign itself. We still had some leftover funds from the first ones. We just funneled it right back in so we could get some art going for this campaign. We got a variant cover as well for this second issue. But
nice.
I don't know. It is in production.
I mean, that's
semi-complete. I don't know.
Those are all valid words.
Done by April.
Yes. Yeah. It is on track.
It is on track. Yeah.
Those are all the important things people need to hear. They don't need to hear that you're on page 17 of 42 or whatever it may be. No, they just want to make sure that it's fucking being worked on. You know, and it's gonna show up on time, and yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it's done now or done in March and it gets to us by April, who gives a shit? You know, as long as it's fucking here.
Yeah, I may have a really awful January for all we know, but I'm hoping to have an only semi-awful November and December. And then once the funds come in, it's all to the colorist.
That's awesome, man. No, I mean, I have all of the faith. I do. I mean, you guys delivered on your first one. What's to make us believe you're not going to deliver the second time around? You know, this is, and you know, well, you know, let's really get more into this book in itself now and the campaign. We got a little taste of your guys' origin stories, and I'm sure you guys have a billion fucking awesome stories to tell within, you know, 15 years about coming up through this book and all of that. But this book itself, for those that may not know, I mean, what the basic premise? I mean, who wants to take it here?
Oh no, the indecision.
Oh,
you know,
man.
I'll give the elevator pitch that
Right on,
anybody
right on.
who's seen the campaign has seen it all around. Like, this is basically the love child of our love of two franchises, mainly one being Indiana Jones for its high adventure, and then the other one being Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy for its wacky space comedy. You know, like we both are huge fans of those two properties. Like I love adventure stories to death, and Hitchhiker's Guide tickles me like nothing else. And Ben was the one who got me into Hitchhiker's Guide back in the day.
Awesome.
So, you know, it's very much, you know, a part of Ben, especially like that and Monty Python. You know, just like the British sensibility is what brings, you know, that type of storytelling out for him. And for me, you know, like I said, man, like Indiana Jones, as far as adventure stories go, is it. Like, that's the template for me. You know, some people aren't excited for this fifth one coming out, but I can't wait. I don't care if it sucks. I will be there opening night.
Is it really? I didn't even know that was really a thing. I thought it was just a meme. Oh, fuck it, I'm down.
It's finally shooting. Like, it is actually shooting. I was just looking at some set photos earlier today. It's happening.
Damn, son of a, with Harrison Ford and everything, huh?
Harrison Ford, James Mangold stepped in to direct this time. So it's not Spielberg, but I mean, James Mangold, you know, he did Ford versus Ferrari and Logan and Copland back in the day. Like, I've got a lot of faith in the guy. He's a talented filmmaker.
Right on, man.
Sorry, that has nothing to do with Space Oddities. But
no, but I mean, we're talking influences here, you know, and I mean, as somebody that read the first issue, you know, you guys were cool enough to send me the first issue, and it's oversized, by the way. Like that's another thing. I mean, is the second one gonna be oversized as well, or
by a couple pages?
By a couple pages. I like that. I like the way you said that.
If your comic book is still standard, you know, like either 20 for DC or 22 pages, you know, for others, this one's going to be probably about 28 pages.
Nice. Right on.
Yeah. So it's not a small book. I don't want to give anybody just a shitty little taste that they're going to forget about by the time the next campaign rolls around.
Yeah. I mean, the nice thing about, you know, self-publishing and the indie thing is that, you know, you've got a story you want to tell for each chapter, because this is designed, or it's written to be a 6-issue arc.
Okay.
So we've got like our first arc plotted out, and we've got, you know, we think it's going to be about 6 issues, and we've got it broken up into parts. And, you know, there's nothing saying that each one needs to be 20 pages or 22 pages. It can be, you know, it's going to be the length it needs to be to tell the story we want to tell. And the first one, that happened to be 40, which was a lot. And, you know, because I had to kind of set all the characters up and kind of get into, you know, it's the intro to the story, essentially. You know, it's the
an oversized intro issue is becoming more and more common. I mean, not even throughout the big two, you know, just overall and storytelling. And I'm fine with it. I'm 100% fine with it. You know, I like a good oversized issue, and then it'll give me your, you know, 20 some page count after that. I understand the necessity of having to put a bunch of stuff in the first issue, because if you don't, say what you want to say initially, I mean, you don't know for sure that someone's going to go through and pick up the rest of what you were trying to introduce, you know.
Yeah, you don't want to tell an incomplete story. I mean, like the
Right.
first issue kind of resolves itself to a degree. I mean, it leaves stuff hanging, obviously, because it's
Well,
one
sure.
of a 6 arc, but in and of itself, it tells us a complete story to it, you know, of a small story as part of a bigger story.
Right.
And I think, you know, having the flexibility to be able to kind of make it whatever size and it needs to be to tell the story is super valuable. And it's one of the things I appreciate about some of the streaming service shows and shit that they got now, like The Mandalorian. When it came out last year, every single episode was a different length, and it's like, all right, that's cool. You got a story you want to tell, who gives a shit if it's 28 minutes or 44?
Yeah.
Just whatever this, you know, don't cram that 44-minute story into, you know, 30 minutes.
Don't Game of Thrones us.
Yeah, and don't stretch something else. Yeah, exactly. Don't stretch something else out to try and make it fit. Like, it doesn't. We're not on a broadcast schedule, and we're not, and we aren't, you know, part of one of the big publishers where they need to have all the books be the same.
Yeah. No, I like that. That's a great reference there. I like the fact, you know, it doesn't have to be a set amount for it, you know, to fit the formula.
Yeah.
You know, it could, if there's a story to be told, fucking tell it. You know, and that's what I'm loving about this creator-owned world that we're living in right now, man. Because I mean, they're taking over. A creator-owned work in comics is taking over. There's no doubt about it. It's getting all of the spotlights. People blow right past DC at this. People don't even take DC continuity seriously right now. I mean, sure, there's a few, but I mean, overall, I mean, people are more worried about what the fuck is going on in House of Slaughter than in Batman right now. You know, it's the creator-owned world that we're living in, and it's I don't know, it's changing the formula of how we see things, and I'm so fucking for it.
Oh yeah,
you know,
they're the ones taking chances and telling different stories. It's not just, you know, your standard superhero cape story.
Yeah.
And that you know, took some adjusting for me. That was a problem at first for me, because I was always a DC kid. Like, Superman's my favorite comic book character.
Yeah.
And you know, I knew people who worked at comic shops and stuff. You know, they were the typical cynical comic shop workers that are just like, I don't want to read superhero comics. It's the same thing over and over again. You know, like, big villain, fight, status quo, you know, resumed, and you know, there's no consequences. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I still enjoy it. You know, it's great. But I've slowly, like, started to lean towards there. You know, like, it sucks because you know, every time there's a creator change, I try out the new Superman, and I'm just like, man, it's nope, can't do it. It's the same thing. You know, like, I like what DC's doing with, like, the Black Label books, where they're actually allowing creators some more freedom and to take chances and to get a little, I mean, I don't need everything to be dark and gritty, but, you know, just not putting it in the same confines of you know, a monthly superhero book.
Right. Or having to worry about what happened 6 months ago with Alfred or whatever, you know. Yeah. No, I like that. I do. But I mean, I see both sides of it. Don't get me wrong. I'm always going to be a forever, you know, I'm always going to read DC, and I'm always going to read Marvel. I mean, that's why I showed up to the party. But it's stuff like this. I mean, that's why I'm still here, because they're keeping it interesting. Sure, I'm still going to read my Iron Man, and yes, I may have read this story arc before, but you know, done by someone else with some slight changes here or there. But you know, whatever. I'm just glad there's fucking Iron Man to read. You know, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. But I've got this stuff. Like, this is the stuff I get really excited for, because there's no, like I said, there's no formula to follow now. Like, next week, kids, like, you don't know if there's even going to be a fucking next week. It could be a month from now. I mean, you don't know where it's going to jump to, what it's going to be, and because I don't know. I mean,
and as far as creating it too, like, you don't have the baggage of 60 years of character, you know, like, you're writing like, everyone knows who Superman is, and Superman's expected to do certain things, and so unless it you know, and DC doesn't really want Superman doing much in the way of different things, he has an image to uphold.
Well, yeah, you guys aren't getting fans, and I would put money on the fact you guys aren't getting fans, you know, screaming at you on Twitter going, that is not what the fuck Jet would do. You know,
I'm
you
excited
don't have to
for
worry
the day
about
with
that
you.
right now.
That would be great.
Yeah, one day.
Next
I mean,
issue, maybe. Next
Hey,
issue, you have that. But the first issue, you don't have
Yeah.
to worry about that.
I would
you
love
know?
someone to be passionate enough to tell me that I'm wrong with my characters.
yeah, it's like writing a song. You know, like I could accidentally play my C chord wrong, but as far as that person knows who's listening to it, like that's exactly what I meant to do. You don't get to tell me that I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll-
ironically, if DC let me write Superman, I would probably give them exactly what they want and exactly what I don't want.
Yeah.
Because it's Superman. I'd have to write him exactly the way I've always read him. So.
Yeah. No. I dig it, man. I dig it. Well, I mean, I love, the influences that you guys have put into this, all the work that you've put into this. Like I said, it's reading this. It's more like watching this. Some of the stuff that I really I saw stand out. I don't know if you guys haven't mentioned them personally, but I get like a fun art. I definitely get the Indiana Jones and the Hitchhiker's Guide, but I also get like a twist of Archer in there a little bit. Like
Interesting.
I feel it in there, man. Like I hear the voice in my head when fuck his name. I just had it. Shit, I just had it.
Dirk.
Dirk, yes, when Dirk talks, like I hear that same type of tone. Like but I don't know, man. It's like I said, these are the things that I feel reading this, and these character influences, and it's like Archer meets Han Solo. Like that's kind of how I feel Dirk kind of rolls in this.
I could totally see that. Yeah. He's all bravado, but if you really analyzed him like scientifically, he would be kind of an incompetent boob who just happens to be like extremely lucky.
Yeah.
And I dig what you say about feeling like you're watching it, because like that's something that even though nobody goes in saying like this is gonna be a movie, like I'm gonna take this to Hollywood and make my dreams come true. But that is sort of how I look at this project altogether. Like I see the first 6 issues as being our movie. We had the cold open in the beginning, like a non sequitur adventure that gets you in, like an Indiana Jones or a James Bond, and then they meet the MacGuffin. Basically, there's something that they have to go search for, and that's going to be their adventure. And it'll all culminate, in the 6th issue with finding it or something else, learning lessons. Characters change, and then it's over. And then after that, you can choose whether or not you want to go on another adventure. So this is kind of, that's how I've always just seen it. It's our movie, or like the first season of our television show. So I dig it, man. I like if it has any sort of cinematic feel or any sort of like you're watching something, then I will fully accept that and be stoked about it.
Well, I mean, all of the characters in this. I mean, right off the bat, though, I don't think I've ever said quicker in a comic. They better not kill this motherfucker. Like, Dirk is automatically my dude. But then we get introduced to. I'm sorry, I'm still trying to remember their name. Oh, Jorge. Is it George or Jorge? Is it Jorge?
Jorge McSanchez.
Yeah. Oh, come on, man. Like this, I love a good, just kind of fat background guy, like a fat sidekick. He's like my favorite. It's my favorite thing. A fat sidekick is my favorite thing. This guy right here, I mean, he's confident. That's the other thing. He's not like your classic derp,
Oh yeah. He's something else. He's an engineer, and like he's very capable at what he does, but he's very he's a bit maybe a little naive and
exactly.
And trusting, but he is a very bright man.
Yeah, he's all heart.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think that's what I was looking for there. Like this character, like the heart, this character, it like a Chewbacca vibe, like ride or die, like he's always going to be there. Yeah, he looks like a big dumb fucking Wookiee, but he'll fix the goddamn thing and he'll pilot the thing to get you to the place that you want to be, and you're gonna be alive. Like that's what I feel we're getting out of Jorge here. And I mean, just immediately, because I reading all these characters, being able to instantly just kind of gravitate towards, oh, that's what I love about them, all of them. Like I have that type of feeling with all of your main characters, guys, and being able to kind of relate them to other characters that I love. That I mean, whether you saw the influence or not, maybe I see it from the outside. Maybe it was some subconscious between you guys. I mean, how could one not subconsciously be influenced by fucking Star Wars? I mean, it's impossible. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the space cousin of Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. So I mean, it's you guys really hit it on the head as far as this lovability with these characters, wanting to see them just in the next thing, and as somebody that read the first issue, I'm excited to see where all 6 issues of this goes. This looks like a hell of a campaign. What's the 30-day campaign on this?
It's a 34-day campaign.
34.
So I wanted it to end on Wednesday because it's New Comics Day.
Smart. I dig it. I dig it, guys. So as far as stretch goals and things like that planned, anything to get people hyped up about?
We
I know you guys have a variant cover. You said that's fucking badass.
Yeah, we do. So as far as our regular rewards and stuff, we've got a variant cover done by a good friend of ours and talented artist, Chris Alvarez.
Okay.
It's a very different style from John's style, and I love it. I'm super stoked to have a variant cover. He really knocked it out of the park with that one.
I'm gonna see if I can get that original art on my wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so we've got a variant cover this time. We've got you can get the first book with it as either an add-on or there's one of the reward tiers comes with both books. We offer digital print. We've got this time for our kind of special reward perk things. We're doing a series of trading cards.
Nice.
Nice. That we're gonna include. And
I'm gonna have a fucking binder of Kickstarter trading cards. I got my Marvel trading cards and shit. I'm gonna have a binder of Kickstarter trading cards here soon. That seems to have been the thing this year, and I'm not mad at it. I like it. Cool. I mean, trading cards are why I'm into comics to begin with. That's a whole nother can of worms. But I dig it. I like seeing the type of nostalgic shit rise up. I don't know. Maybe it's just the age group that we're in. But still, I dig it, man. I love it.
New Space Oddities Pogs. Why didn't we think of that before?
Oh fuck, dude. You wouldn't. I have Pogs. I've got my. I'm not even lying. I wish that's the thing. You guys could be the next trendsetters. Bring back Pogs.
Pogs printed. Maybe that'll be our stretch goals. Space Oddities Pogs.
How expensive could a Pog really be to print? I mean, they're fucking cheap as shit. If they got wet, they were done.
But we've also got a metal bookmark, and then we've got a sketch cover. You can get drawn into the book.
Nice.
Original art is available. Some of the original inked pages, and then custom illustrations from both John and me. And we did that last time. And I was shocked anybody chose to get illustrations for me, but 6 people did. And it was a lot of fun to do because I don't draw.
I was gonna say this is new. Let's you draw too, but you don't, and you took on. I like that, man. That's fun.
Yeah, I gave it a shot. I think for the first Kickstarter, John, I took one of John's Superman illustrations, and I tried my best to freehand, look at it as a reference and copy it, and it wasn't very good. But I put them both up there just to make sure people knew what they were getting. That this was a writer of this comic book trying to draw something for him. But it's I was looking at all the rewards, and it's okay, well, John's going to do sketch covers and John's going to do an illustration. It's all right, I need to contribute something to this. The rewards on here. And it was actually a lot of fun.
I can imagine, man. I bet that was a lot of fun for it. I mean, as an illustrator getting that, it's going to be okay, well, now I'm working again. But as a writer, fuck, let's spill some paint, see what the fuck happens. It
was cool. I think because people knew I was incompetent, they gave me crazy things to draw instead of I think John had a Hawkman and a few other things he had to draw.
Yeah, I had Hot Girl, Mandalorian, I mean, basically your standards.
Yeah, characters. Yeah, I got one of the ones I got was hedgehog eating French fries in space.
What the fuck?
Yeah, all right. Sure. It was fun.
That's awesome. I mean, the imagination of your fans too. That's got to be fun to see. And just the random shit that they send you like that. I mean, I if somebody sent that to me, I'm like, I'm being fucking pranked right now. But no, you're a comic book creator. I mean, that's just part of the job. You're gonna get weird, crazy requests all the time.
So I've even thought of trying to do something like the creator Ryan Brown from God Hates Astronauts and Curse Words. Like when he's doing convention sketches, somebody will say like draw Superman and Batman, and he will draw like Batman as a centaur with like Superman riding on him or something. Like he takes creative license to just get super goofy and crazy. And I wish I was confident enough to do that. Like I'm so terrified that somebody's going to hate my normal drawing of Superman and Batman that like I couldn't possibly dream of just throwing it in a mixer and just seeing what pops out. Like I'm terrified of that.
Well, yeah, I don't know, man. It won't take you long. Just you got to get to a couple of conventions with people sitting down, handing you your book, saying "fucking draw something on this for me," and then before you know it, yeah, you'll be doing all the crazy, wild, fucking Ryan Brown type of shit. I mean, I've had him on the podcast before. That dude's fucking imagination is insane, uber talented, but he's just a fucking regular guy, dude. You could do it too, man. You could do it too. I'm telling you. I mean, I see the you got talent, dude. This is fucking cool. I'm this is not your basic looking my first comic book. Like that's not what this looks like at all. I gotta give this to you, man. It's all too often I get sent something saying, "Hey, I'm doing my first comic book," and I'm like, I could tell. This I don't mean to be mean, but I mean oftentimes there's clear tells like, yeah, this is your first time doing this. I wouldn't say that for this at all, man. Like you're able to. I mean, for both of you, obviously, but visually, like that's where the real tell is. Like it's really easy to tell that out.
I said it's mostly John. Let me be clear there. Like, I mean, one of the things I really admire about John and his art is his ability to visually tell a story. Like if you were to go through the book, I mean, I already know what's happening, so maybe I'm a bit biased, but I think if you were to remove all the word balloons from the book entirely, I feel like you'd still have a pretty good idea of what was going on, because his ability to give you the narrative and the emotions of what's happening with the art alone is really good.
I'm not gonna disagree with you, man. Like that's why I said this is not amateur looking at all. Like that's why I said it feels like it's in motion as I scroll through here. And by no means am I saying it could do without the fucking script. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying this doesn't look like somebody's first goddamn comic.
The joke this is better with words.
Oh man. No, I'm excited for you guys. I wish I would have found this the first time around. I do. But the Space Oddities, this is the next thing on my Kickstarter radar for sure. You guys pretty much,
and hopefully that's the case for some other people, that just for whatever reason, because we were a small time nothing operation doing our first Kickstarter, just trying to find our way through it. And as much as everybody gave us advice for setting up our list and building up hype ahead of time, like we didn't do it as well as some could, I suppose. So I'm sure there's a lot of avenues and a lot of people we didn't hit. So this time around, hopefully we'll hit them and they'll go, well, shit. Oh, good. I can start from the beginning and I can get a second one at the same time. So double their pleasure, double their fun.
Well, you came to the right place, because anybody that's ever read a comic book ever listens to this podcast. So
perfect. Mm-hmm.
They'll all know. No, I really do hope that the listeners heed my warning. I say you'd be fucking pissed if you miss this one. This is cool. It's not. We see the space stuff all the time, and most of the time I'm like, yeah, saw that. But like I said, there's just there's something special to this all the way around. You know, I fell in love with the characters immediately. I said, Dirk, don't you fucking dare kill Dirk. I don't care if it's the last page of the 6th issue. No. He gets launched into space trying to rip a leather jacket. I don't know. Right off the bat, leather is something very special to me. It's very rare. I hate the fucking summertime because it's agonizing to wear leather. So that whole first intro and that first issue, I mean, immediately I was like, this shit right here. This is they wrote it for me. They knew. And for the listeners that don't know what I'm talking about, you're just gonna have to go find out for yourself. Are you guys offering? I would imagine you guys are offering at least a digital form of getting issue 1 on the 2nd campaign, right?
Yeah, no,
digital and print.
Digital,
nice.
Both available. Yeah, we were able. The first Kickstarter went well enough. We were able to do a pretty sizable print run, so we've still got a few of those things banging around, and no, a lot less of them than I thought we were going to have. Like we actually pretty good job getting rid of those things.
Yeah, we've got Sacramento has a really supportive community. Like there's a local shop up here, A1 Comics, that really had our back on this. You know, they do like live sales on Instagram, and like, you know, they were selling our book on there. And it was pretty wild, you know, that there again, there's an audience that we couldn't reach on our own. So yeah, and you know, there's some other shops, Empire's Comics Vault, and Ken's Comics and Collectibles, all in the greater Sacramento area that were carrying our book. So
I bet that felt community. Fucking awesome. Having I'm God damn it. I'm looking at the time here and I know you guys have shit to do. I am beyond excited for this book. I mean, I could probably go on like another 20 minutes on just how fucking awesome it was seeing your book on a shelf. Ben,
it's your birthday. Tell them you're going to be late for dinner. Let's talk all about us.
Wait for me as long as I say.
Yeah.
Honestly, let's save some for next time, huh? You know, let's how about I don't know, man. This is something exciting for sure, and I really do urge the listeners to check this one out. Space Oddities. Like I said, if I wouldn't have you guys on the show if I didn't think it was worth shouting out. No doubt about it. I mean, I had to say a lot or know a lot before I got to your guys' email. I'm not gonna lie. It was a little discouraging. And then this, you guys, Jesus Christ. Thank you.
Hey, no, Dirk, thank you. I truly appreciate it. Hey, and you know, throwing a little spoiler out there, we're not going to kill Dirk off right away. We've got ideas. We've got ideas for that. Don't you worry. He's safe for now.
Oh man, I dig it. Oh, you keep me wanting more. Guys, really, it has been. Oh, what's up?
I think the only thing we didn't mention was anything about the plot. But you can go on if you go on the campaign, it's there.
See, that was my biggest fear. We were going to nerd out so far, but at the same, I mean, does it really matter at this point? No, like you're gonna be characters that you're gonna fucking fall in love with.
Yeah,
you know, the influences that we all love that it's guided by, and I said it was good. So what the fuck else do you?
What
need?
else do you need?
Yeah, as long as someone doesn't say like, I don't know, it might be good, and don't worry about the plot, then we're in bad shape. But you know,
well, I mean, Indiana Jones says a lot right there, right? The Indiana Jones influence. They're looking for something. They're after something.
Mm-hmm.
Plot wise, everything you need to know is in the Kickstarter video. So like, it's like a 2-minute video. So you can watch that. It'll tell you the basis that you need to know, and I think we did a decent job making it entertaining. I don't know. I enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's just like when I draw a page, I look at it and all I can see are the things that I would have done better if it wasn't the night before the launch.
You know, our Kickstarter video isn't us just sitting there staring at the camera telling you should buy our book. So
yeah, we've got a continuing narrative from our first Kickstarter video. So if you're still able to go view it, watch it. You can see the journey. But I mean, that's what I do for my day job. I'm a video editor, so we shot a video and I cut it real quick. But But yeah,
Right on, man.
it's fun, but yeah, that's another thing that we should have planned ahead on.
Yeah.
Well, we live and we learn. We still have issue 3, 4, 5, and 6, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
the Kickstarter is important, but it's probably the least fun part of this process. Like,
And
making
it always
comics is a
will be.
blast, but you know, the Kickstarter is it's the thing that's most like work.
Yeah, I mean it's worse than I would imagine pitching to publishers. You know, I mean it's yeah.
Well,
But
you got to sell yourself, and it was really hard the first time because I'm not the kind of guy that is really comfortable being like, "Hey, I'm awesome. Look at my great stuff." And that's pretty much what you have to do constantly. You have to be like, "Hey," like I felt bad like posting on Twitter more than once a day
right.
about
Oh,
the
dude,
about the comic, and it's like, wow, I feel like a real dick here telling everyone how they should go read this, but it's like, yeah, that's what you have to do.
man, yeah, no, that's the reality. I mean, I can relate to that feeling too. In the beginning, the first year of podcasting, I was like, they'll just find it, right? I don't need to tell them because I mean, it was like, there's other stuff more important going on the internet. They don't need my tweet. But no, I mean, that was the whole thing. I wasn't a person to like, look at me, look at me. And but god damn it, you have to do that. And
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys came on this show because I'm gonna make sure people look at you. That's for damn sure.
This
You guys got
is
a
the fun
wait,
part of the Kickstarter.
right?
Coming on and talking to other people and geeking out about comics and just having a good time. Like, this is the cool part.
Right on, man. Well, I'm glad you guys find this to be the cool part. Sorry, no. Let's see. You guys have a website too. Just spaceoddities.com or spaceodditiescomic.com.
Yep,
Right
and
on.
we also we have a podcast ourselves.
Yes.
It is Geeksploration, the podcast. We pick a geeky topic and talk about it for an hour or two every other week, and then on the off weeks we just have a little casual chat about current geek news or what we're feeling about things. So yeah, we live the geek lifestyle.
Yeah, we've done episodes on both Indiana Jones and Hitchhiker's Guide.
No way. I dig it, guys. I've totally heard of you. I've totally heard it. I mean, there's come on.
Yeah, we're around Twitter. We're there.
We get around Twitter. It's crazy how hard us podcasters have to work on Twitter, man.
It's a good community, though.
Yeah, it is. It is. So yeah, you guys are out there kicking ass. I look forward to everything you're doing. When does the Kickstarter end? What's the or you said the 8th
December.
8th of December, right on. You said 34 days.
Yeah,
Sweet.
it's got 1 month left, 30 days left.
Right on. Right on. Well, I wish the best for you, but I don't think you need my well wishings. I think all the success is just on its way to you regardless. Like I said, this is cool. I dig it. I really do.
I appreciate the kind words and the support for having us on.
Thanks a lot, Brian.
I would super appreciate it.
For sure, gentlemen. And I'll let you get back to your your lives. Happy birthday. Like I said, I'm doing this on your birthday, man. I could think of better things to do for sure, but here you are. Hey, you guys stay safe, man. Don't stop doing what you're doing. Don't change your mind after 15 years and decide not to. You fucking better not. Jerk for life.
Not until we start failing. Then I'll have a crisis of confidence and
then we're good.
Spiral.
I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that. All right, guys. We'll be in touch. We'll yeah, you guys stay safe. Cheers.
Sounds good.
Thanks a lot, Brian.